Yes, well, I'm so glad to be here with all of you. And of course, I subscribe all your concept of what is a home. But of course, what I say after Nata Mabena said, it's a very inspired and incredible because I totally agree with that vision because I imagine I always imagine when our ancestors sit around a bonfire and try to discover who we are, what and which is the reason of our existence. And I think in that moment start the feeling of a feeling of home. No, they are sharing food, care between them, but uh, create a relationship with the nature, a very important relation with the nature. And of course, a home is a place where your heart and your soul and your mind feeling in complete harmony, care, and share with the people is around, but it's not only uh, with the people. It's very important to connect us with the nature, connect us with the animals, with the plants, and uh, and I think when we have that conception of life, uh, we love the place, love the land, love the mountains, the forests, the rivers, because they are part of us. They are part of all the community that are sharing a way of life and way of feeling and way to create, which is the reason of our existence. So here in Huerto, uh, when we start to run in the place, we say the most important thing is the community. Create communities, integrate in their local places, and working to create tools to confront the climate crisis. And uh, we dream about the concept of autopoiesis. Is we can the possibility to be auto gestion. But in one moment, I feel that one part fault. And when I discover a concept of a biologist called Donna Hathaway, they uh, uh, speech about symbiosis. And the symbiosis is the relationship that all the species, not only one species, not only the human, is the relationship with all species need to share because there's no way to survive if we don't have that connection. And in that moment, of course, the indigenous cosmovision is a multi-species vision. It's not only an anthropocentric vision. They say about the everybody, and everybody means not only people, species, plants, animals uh, have gifts, his own gifts, and when we recognize that gifts, we can try to live in the cycles of life. And another important thing that I think is urgent in this time is only of the nature, take on of the nature only that you need. That is very important because when we have the possibility to recognize to the others, and only that I need, all our visions start to change. And I saw that Alexander shared some things that they have in South Africa and other parts, and I go for this. This is a gift to give me in Peru, and it's the representative of Pachamama. And here is all the mountains, are the animals, are the lands, are the rivers, and I think that is the most important thing for a home is when we recognize the value of not of local, even the global, and see the presentation to Violeta Sheros. The virtual ecosystem is an ecosystem too, and now we are making home all in this pantalla, in this computer. No, we are making home, and I think is the most important. And thank you very much. Sorry for my English, but I trying to do best. Each year is better. Okay.
Dearest Paco, that's be there, climb out of your window and experience what you created there and see how there is just no limit. There's simply no limit to what our imagination can unfold and what we can manifest when we have the spirit that you beautifully brought to life. And we love it that you still carry this, the Mexicanness of the way you speak. It's very enriching for us.
And by the way, it's beautiful that you ended with your comment on language, because as we talk home, it is also important we can speak our home languages and bring them and cultivate them and connect them. As we are building, I would think, also a new language across and beyond all our languages. This is also the experience that I feel very strongly in this very moment and in the many moments we have on the One Home journey. So I can only recommend that we all come to experience also Huerto, Roma, Verde, when our passes lead to Mexico, because you have created there a home for so many people in the community and people from around the world, and a new economy, oikos nomia, the home, oikos meaning home or household, is very alive in Huerto, Roma, Verde. And that brings us now to another place where imagination went in most beautiful expressions right now into the refugee camp, the Nakivale refugee settlement in Uganda, where people really had to start building home totally anew out of nothing. And we will hear from Ruphin and Ayala what miracles in home building, in community building took place. Over to the beautiful studio, Unfold Voices.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear us properly without any challenge. Yeah, thank you so much. What I'm going to start with is just a simple imagination. Imagine being a huge family with around 9 neighbors, and among those neighbors, there is the little neighbor that is a witch and who is killing your children every time. How would you consider that situation when you are that huge family. So there, I'm not talking about family as something simple, but I'm talking about the huge country that we have. That's DRC. And I'm by the name called Ruphin Kungwa, and I'm joining from Uganda, as Professor Alexander said. So there is an update coming from DRC. The M23 has again attacked because they have taken the eastern part from Goma with other territories there in sorry. There is actually, I'm sorry, there was a call. They have taken Goma, Bukavu, and today, as I'm talking, they have reached now Uvira, and which is my place. And after that, they are going to take the whole country, and we don't know what will happen there. So that was in short. The only big part that was remaining was Uvira, because we have citizens who are fighting against M23, but they were conquered, and today Uvira is now under uh, the hands of M23. Thank you so much. For me, I can now consider home as a place where someone lives and builds memories for a future wealth. This goes directly with what I've been even understanding since I was still growing up, when I read this book written by Fatou Diom from Senegal, and who wrote The Belly of Atlantic. And there is, she said that living is becoming a moving or walking tomb, where living and death share the same absence. And this comes to our place also. We consider that where we are coming from, we are souls that are moving from one place to another place, looking for that home where we shall build our memories for a bright future. Unfortunately, we face a few things that make us struggle, not us as people, but ourselves, because as I said before, the soul is that that part that carries the memories from where we are coming from and where we are going to. So, to make it short, there is something that people don't really understand, is the sense of belonging. What what makes us to be more connected to the place where we are is taking the responsibility and be like someone who is owning that place. So the ownership makes us to feel that belongingness of a certain place. Now, the big challenge that people normally face is acceptance. Where we are living, we may find people, and those people can't easily accept you as other human beings. And this comes directly to what we have been facing here in Nakivale refugee settlements, where we have refugees coming from different countries, almost 7 countries. And when they try, with all the struggles here in Nakivale, they try to find a better place in Kampala or somewhere else outside of the camp, they face now that challenge that we call acceptance. When a citizen can't even allow you to also own everything, to also have the same opportunities like them, and it becomes a barrier for refugees who are trying to live better outside of the camp. Now, due to all those challenges that they face, they come back in Nakivale refugee settlement, and they consider this as a home. That's why we have seen the developments of different places having a beautiful look than it was before. And then we have seen the generation coming with new initiatives that are helping now refugees to have also to get all those opportunities that are coming here in Nakivale, because they believe that this is the place that they are belonging to, and they don't have any other place to go, so they can't go back from their countries, and then they have to live here until maybe something else will happen. Maybe a miracle of God will happen, and the situation changes into good things. So you find that that situation makes people feel like we are not only living here in Nakivale as strangers, as refugees, but we are living here now as people who are belonging to this place. And we understand that, but it's not that easy to be accepted as the people who are having the ownership of this place. It's somehow hard. That's why there is something that is that could be developed if people could understand the universal place that we are living in. People could limit the ownership of places. Suppose that we are in Uganda. Some Ugandans are improving their lives when they're outside of Uganda. Let me say in England, others in Germany, others in other places there. You may find other people from Italy finding a better place in Congo, in South Africa, and everywhere, so and so on. So I don't think that discrimination could be something that could allow others to feel that sympathy and that belongingness of a certain place when they have limited places, limited opportunities. So that's why I always say, I even wrote a short article there called Refugee Camp as Home. And I don't know if you could have like 2 minutes to just go through and understand what is written there. So this makes refugees now to believe that wherever they are, they can change that place and transform it into a home. And when things of collaboration came in, different organizations and refugees understood that they couldn't reach far without collaborating, and this brought the way of having an ecosystem. And today, as we are talking here, we are not only talking as the two people, but we are talking on behalf of the Nakivale ecosystem that is here. So is fully represented here, and this is something great. And I also learned a lot from Tatumabena when he was talking. I really appreciate how he really understood this spirituality of connecting, being connected to trees and other part of nature. This comes to us also to understand that people that you are seeing are not just the body that you are seeing, but is the soul that is carrying many things behind. It's the soul that is carrying a story behind there, and they want also to continue that story, making memories. So thank you so much. I'm not going to stop from there. And maybe, I don't know if Melian could also speak, or I take back the speech.
Please,
Thank you.
Melian.
Greetings
Please,
from
Melian.
am I clear now? Yeah, greetings from Unfold Voices. This is Melian Muhesi, and I'm happy to be part of you. At Unfold Voices, and this is what we've been just discussing about for some good time. It's all about, for us, home, it's where we feel a sense of belonging and where dignity is respected. But also, it's not all about a country or maybe a city like Nakivale, but home, it's everywhere. You feel like you are seen and respected, and at least your voice is heard. Like now we are listening to each other, the whole world, and that's what we call exactly a home. For refugees like us, the context home has been a bit not easy to, because it changes from a time to time. Like we leave home or we lost home for some time, we came and rebuild it again, but now we are understanding it more in a way that we carry home with us. We no longer rebuild it, but we live with it and we carry it with us, because we share the earth and we share this belonging, which is something that we should more understand as an inner power that we carry with us wherever we go. So I think this is a power that is now given to refugees and other people, for us to understand that we normally don't leave home, but we carry home with us, and we can easily establish the home that we carried where we went. And I'm so happy to be on this movement where we talk about home, dignity, restored culture, community. So I'm so happy to be part of this conversation. Over to you, Rama and Alexander.
Very wonderful. You know, talking about this so powerful, Melian, how you carry home within, and just bringing that together with the way you started us off, Ruphin, you know, which shows a little bit the world we live in, that the worst, you know, a conflict, I don't even want to call it, it's so much more than a conflict, in the Congo is at such a devastating peak, and your hometown, the last bastion has fallen, and there is not a peep in the news, because we are so ashamed that we continue to depend on the minerals stolen from this land to feed our dead economies, our greed. And yet, in Nakivale refugee settlement, as in many other places, you're coming together, carrying home in your hearts with such dignity, with such imagination and courage. And I would love you to share, Ruphin, the name that you gave to this Home for Humanity ecosystem that encompasses Unfold Voices, that encompasses Arise, the school that Ishara, a really shining leader in this camp, who is also Milian's husband, built when he saw the struggles of young people who came, not even speaking the language, you know, being in this alien culture, only having the home within, how to keep that home alive. And our beloved Roger, our other son, who with other orphan children who had seen their parents and siblings being massacred in front of their eyes, created an orphanage that's a home away from home called New Talent for the Best Future. Or November, the women who came together in a small, beautiful space to create things with their hands and learn new skills to create new livelihoods. Or Vera Music, who said we can build peace through our music and art and culture. And all this woven together, share with us in your language the words that you so carefully chose for this home for humanity and what it means.
Yes, actually,
And Misericordia, sorry, also the women's movement. Yes.
yes, actually, the name that we chose was in Swahili, and this is Nyumba ya Umoja. Nyumba ya Umoja. This simply mean the home for unity. So we chose this one because we really understood that we cannot just call a home if only one person is living in, but it can also be an open space for other people to join and bring their ideas, and those ideas can also bring a change in the community. That's why when I told you that a home is a place where people build memories for a future world, and this is what we are doing. Each organization is doing it in their own ways, and for us, we are also doing it on our ways. But when we bring those ideas together, we make that ecosystem, and because it's no longer only one piece of I mean of place, it becomes only a place of many seats there, around more than 5 seats where all the organizations could be sitting. So, and this brings unity among us and collaboration among the organizations. And for just a short information, one activist from Vera Music was elected as the chairperson of Base Camp 1. The guy is called Marco Pulga. So he's the current chairman of our village here. Thank you. I don't know if you want to.
What was so beautiful about Nakivale is these villages, no? That here is this camp where, unlike, the inequality and the treatment also of different refugees and in refugee settlements, the utter deprivation, the lack of resources, of schools, of medical centers, forget hospitals, of any kind of income or revenue. And despite that these villages that have been created, so talking about the soul of the city, what you said, Melian, about carrying your home in your hearts, keeping that alive, coming together in unity, supporting each other, being this thread and living in these villages. Not to say not to idealize, because such situations should not exist. The wars that lead to them should not exist. The greed that fuels those wars should not exist, and that's why the need for an eco-civilization. That's why the need to talk about the soul of the cities and to have a living cities movement that Alexander, you, Marina, Violetta, and so many others have started, where we can be one with nature, where we can be one as an earth family. And with that, dear Marina, we turn back to you. We hope we haven't taken too long and there's still a little moment for a discussion with the broader group and your reflections back, but feeling very deeply blessed by what each one of you has shared and brought the worlds together in this space.
Thank you so much for your beautiful stories, for your wisdom, for the lessons that I think each place in the world can take from your presentations, from your speeches. And to finalize, I would also, so we shared this idea in the very beginning that in this fragmented, competitive world, which is full of confrontation, fragmentation, separation. It is so important that you mentioned this sense of belonging to the place, regardless race, regardless nationality, regardless religion, or any other things which are important, but they are dividing because people are trying to compete or whatever. So in terms of being the part of the place, being the part of environment and nature, as wonderfully Dr. Mabena has brought this idea that we are the one with the mountains, with flora and fauna and everything which inhabits the places where we live, not only human beings, but also all species, all plants and animals. So in this case, what would be your, not maybe the lesson, but the suggestion, the wise advice to those people who will watch the recording, to those who are with us today, where to start? What can we do as human beings, as future leaders, as people who care? What can we do and what can we suggest? What might be the first, maybe small, but very significant step towards the Earth citizenship, towards the understanding of this Earth planetary identity, towards honoring and cherishing our Mother Earth, our connection to each other and to the places where we live? So what would you suggest? What would you advise? What would you give as a gift of wisdom to those people who are watching us and who will watch the recording later? Please, who would like to start?
So, dear friends, dear world, dear Earth citizens.
Dear Marina, I sense you are inviting us in conclusion to once more travel the Earth. Yes. And I just want to acknowledge also the presence on this call. We have Africa with us, we have the Americas with us, we have Asia with us, we have Europe with us, and we have not the Arab world with us today. We do have behind us a beautiful fabric from Palestine.
A gift from our Home for Humanity in Palestine.
Which has God bless our home, God bless our home planet. So the presence of the earth. And I think this leads me, if I can start this concluding circle, to say this practice of coming together across our cultures in a common home is of utmost significance. The very practice that we could witness amongst ourselves in these last 2 hours of listening to each other's inner home, to co-creating a home space as we are listening, and having the shared aspiration and service for our common home. This was one of the great lessons. This Earth ball, Earth sphere traveled with us to every country. About 12,000 people have touched it by now. All ages, all cultures, all social backgrounds. When the moment of touching this at the end of, shared workshops or evenings or interventions together, when we stood together holding the earth, this connection of love, of belonging, of wanting to participate in building the future together was universal. And perhaps to step into this experience for a moment, and this is what I would like to conclude with, if we could reach out and touch our home all together and feel into that energy within us of caring, of loving, of creating. What Melian so beautifully shared, home is sharing, belonging, the sharing of belonging.
Yes. I would like to pass this earth, this piece of art by artist Michel Granger, which has traveled with us. So it travels around to all the speakers, and I'll say a word at the end. So let's just go maybe in the same order. Ntate Mabena.
You're muted.
And just one quick thing, dear Marina, I've shared with you on your WhatsApp just a short film of each one of our speakers. So from, Ntate speaking on Mamelodi Mountain, Paco in Huerto, Roma, Verde, Ruphin and our other members of a few of the other members of the Nakivale family in Melian's Unfold Voices studio at the end of our time there. Maybe you could share that with everyone, because then we can really experience these homes and living cities, and you could also share it more widely. And there's also one short film which we'll share in a moment of all of the places we went to and how everyone connected to this one home earth. So that could be a beautiful way to bring to life the spirit of this session and for people to experience what our speakers have created in their environments. Let me know if you can see that. Yes.
I will share these recordings here and then in all our social media.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Please, Dr. Madena.
Yeah, I've been listening very carefully to Melanie and Ruphin. What a great job they're doing. And more especially, I agree that homesickness is normal and it's a natural response to being separated from your comfort zone and support system. What mechanism, were they able to win other refugees who came after them? Because surely I believe there is what we call homesickness. And when they arrive at the refugee camp, some people couldn't really tolerate the situation, because you are from your home, you're separated from your sacred spaces, graveyard, those who passed on. But how were they able to manage those people who came after them who had homesickness? Because it's quite difficult. I would just, would like to hear from them. How were they able? Because they sound very brave and they were able quickly to medicate themselves when they arrived at the refugee camp. What medicine they gave to others who came after them. Melanie and Ruphin. Just short. Because you see me, you look like you're a doctor. You have that doctorate on, healing other people who came after you.
Okay, thank you. Actually, here in the camp, what we first had to tell them is sharing the experience that we got from within the camp and outside the camp, because we have been seeing people here. Once they reach here and they found they reach in the place where they have people who are going to direct them or to orient them in a wrong way, they will just dive into that. And if they reach in the hands of our people who have already understood how the camp works, they really go in a good way. So what we have been telling them is to first, for the quick adaptation, they should first understand the reality that they are living. It doesn't matter they were rich or coming from the middle class in Congo, but once they reach here, they first understand that they have already left all those things behind, and here they are starting afresh. So it doesn't matter people have the skills, some, because here we have people who are even doctors in Congo, people who are even lawyers in Congo, but once they're here, they don't have anything to do with all those degrees that they have, but they start moving around, going up and down without having anything to do, because and the reason that I was also pleased to start writing something little, and I called it the dormant power. This is something that I'm writing, the dormant power, that will talk about all those people who are skilled but aren't earning anything in Nakivale. So you find that those ones who are really sharp, who are quick to just adapt, they first learn the first thing, which is learning English.
Thank you.
The language, which plays a big role here in the camp, everyone should learn English first. It doesn't matter which kind of levels they were in Congo, all those things have passed. Now language, after learning language, they start now learning other skills that will help them to give value to the studies that they have, to the degrees that they hold here in the camp. And another thing is that we showed them that being a refugee doesn't simply mean that you'll go to the third country, because some come from DRC dreaming of going abroad, leaving Africa and join either Canada, and other countries in Europe and America. But once you first tell them that going abroad is a chance, you may have that chance of going, or you may remain here forever. Some people have been seeing people who have more than 20 years here in the camp. Others are even dying from here, and they don't go anywhere. So we motivate them to first consider this place as the home, like someone who just shifted from a region to another one. They're there in Congo. That's how they should consider this camp, and start focusing on how to rebuild. Thank you.
I think in addition to what Ruphin has just
Thank
said, what we are doing is making this place better than how we found it, so that at least we can prepare it a little bit more better than the way we found it, because we found here we had a problem. Actually, I've been calling this place home since 2017, and when I reached, I didn't know any English. So the English I'm speaking right now, I started learning it in 2020. And we are creating this place, or I mean, improving it for the people who are coming, because we are sure people are still coming every day, and number is still increasing daily. So we want these people to at least found that we have built something that can help them to not to start from where we started. Because personally, we started where education was really hard for children. Even English languages wasn't accessible. But now we've created a system that the people who are now coming from different countries can at least have a language, because we are having Somalian, Ethiopians, Congolese, Rwanda, Burundi. So we can't all speak all those languages, but at least we can speak English together, as we can't learn each other's language, which can also take time. But now we can come all together and at least try to speak English, all the 7 countries. That's why at Arise, we are having an English class for adults. We are having a school, academic school for kids. And also we have session for girls talk, where we share, integrate, so that people cannot start from where we started. We at least make it better for them to integrate and learn together, and make sure they become some people here that can at least also rebuild their life, but also integrate easily.
Thank you so much, Ruphin and Melian. I was wondering, now that we see that Mama Mabena has come also into the screen, if he could come at the very end once more to South Africa, and also have Mama Mabena maybe giving a closing blessing to this beautiful session. But we first move to our dear friend Paco. in Mexico. What are your thoughts in distillation? How we move forward?
Well, one day a grandmother told me that if we want to care the external water, first we need to care the internal waters. I think that in this moment that we are in the mind of egoica and rational mind, we have the possibility to grow, to pass to the integral mind. And I think it's happening. I don't know if it's going to be so quickly, but I'm sure that if we want to pass to the another paradigms here in Huerto, we call health biosystemic paradigms and leave the Cartesian paradigms. No? We need to grow our conscience. It's still working inside us and with the community. The only door can we open in this moment is to create integral communities with an integral mind and like Mabena said, the spiritually, not necessarily the religion, but the spiritually is going to be a very important fact.
So incredibly important what you said, dear Paco. And that's what we really feel at Huerto, the integral, the wholeness, your beautiful, I don't know if you have around a picture of the model and the logo of Huerto. If you do, just do hold it up so we can all absorb it, which we live every day, to live that every day. And I think that comes to what each one has said, and what you started framing it with is what came to us as the conclusion of year one. And that would be for us, Marina, the answer to the question, that living Earth citizenship could be a choice now. And it could simply be in every moment, this choice to care for the Earth, our home, our biome, our all, care for each other within our communities and across all borders, and care for this inner earth, which Milian referred to, that how are we living? Are we choosing to live with that care every day, live lives of value and purpose and service to these levels, so that we are really being that living part of the earth, that integral part of the integral whole, the interconnected wholeness of life. And I think, with that answer to your question, I would love to turn to our Mama Mabena. It's just over a year, Mama Mabena, that we were with you, and one of the great gifts you gave to us was how you just brought it all together with your powerful voice, with your blessing, bringing truly the spirits of the ancestors, the spirits of the flora and fauna, those who have come millions of years before us, into the space. So if that seems the right moment to do that, we would love to call upon you, dear Mama Mabel Mabena. If you would just unmute and maybe come forward. Mama Mabena? Oops, I think they froze.
Yeah. Good evening to everyone. Thank you so much for inviting us. We feel honored. I asked Dr. Mabena to get the whole information as I was a little bit busy. So I thank you. Nina enasala emalwandle. Nina enasala ezintabeni. Siyabonga namhlanje sikhuluma nezizwe, sikhuluma ezizweni ngokuhlukahlukana kwazo. Siyabonga kuze kuphele unyaka ongu-2025 sisonke sisabambene. Siyabonga ukuthi sigcinene kuze kube namhlanje. I thank you.
Siyabonga.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, dear friends. It was an absolute feast of soul, feast of our relationships across the continents, from Asia to Americas, to Africa, to Europe. And I hope that we created this beautiful space. And let me finalize maybe with the words attributed to the spiritual teacher Ram Dass. We are all just walking each other home, because I think that that's definitely what we are doing. We are helping each other find ourselves, our spiritual essence, and helping each other, guiding each other to come back to our inner source, our deep connectedness to the whole, to Mother Earth, to each other, and to all the life which we are cherishing, nurturing, and love. Thank you. Thank you so much.